we're officially halfway through the year. I hesitate to ask, how are your New Year's resolutions coming along? If that question made your stomach drop, don't worry, you're not alone. Research shows that 9 in 10 of us will have well given up on those goals by now. But as temporarily reassuring as that might be to hear, it's actually a sign of a much larger problem, especially for you leaders or people managers. In short, it means that people are not thriving. Plans change, goals change, people change. Not making good on a promise you made to yourself back in January doesn't necessarily mean that you failed to grow or improve yourself in any way. Maybe you just no longer resonated with that goal. When the case is that you're failing to accomplish any of your goals, and not just you, but 90% of the people around you, that's clearly a sign that something is wrong. And something is wrong. More than 80% of U.S. employees are at risk of burnout in 2024, according to a new report from Mercer. More than half are already showing signs of moderate burnout, while 41% are struggling specifically with post-time off burnout, defined as the feelings of exhaustion, fatigue, stress, anxiety, or despair that comes with returning to work from an apparently insufficient amount of time off. Adding to, or more likely contributing to their exhaustion, many are also failing to get a necessary 7 hours of sleep each night, are struggling to eat healthy, move consistently, spend enough quality time with friends and family, or spend enough quality time alone with themselves. So what's going on here? At the root of such statistics is the fact that the vast majority of workers in the U.S. are struggling to disconnect or unplug at the end of the workday. Nearly 2/3 of U.S. employees exhibit signs of work-life imbalance, a figure that's been steadily on the rise over the past few years. A whopping 92% of all knowledge workers admit to regularly working in the evenings and on the weekends, while a third claim to check their email as soon as they wake up in the morning, indicative of an always-on approach to work. And nearly half cite the nature of work and/or excessive workloads as the cause of their burnout, whether that's because they have to spend more time at the end of their workday to catch up on assignments, or because they're simply plagued by anxious thoughts about work during their supposed time away from the office. How did we get here? It should come as no surprise that the first few years of the 2020s really did us in terms of creating widespread burnout. Specifically, the switch to remote or hybrid work. Remote work has, in so many ways, been a luxury or rather a privilege for workers. Many say that it's actually improved their work-life balance, has helped them better manage or prevent against burnout, and has helped them take better care of themselves. Unfortunately, for the average perfectionist, or for those stuck in the average workplace culture that prioritizes performance and productivity at the expense of worker well-being, this has not been the case. Instead of equalizing the balance between work and life, remote work has far too often blurred the boundaries between each, as workers find themselves struggling to switch off now that their desk is right there, their laptop's right there, with Teams, Slack, or Outlook notifications going off at all hours of the day. It's understandable that many have found it difficult to strike a balance between work and life after quite literally bringing work home with them. Even as most workers return to the office full-time, or at least some of the time, it's hard to go back to a standard 9 to 5, or whatever their set hours may be, now that they've set this precedent that they'll get right back to their boss's email at 8 o'clock at night, or 2 in the morning. So what can their employers do to help? Because clearly this isn't sustainable. One tactic picking up traction in 2024 is to actually leverage technology to help employees disconnect from it. As people are now dispersed across international work sites, and are now that those work sites have become their homes, on-site campaigns are becoming harder to implement, and are becoming all around less effective when they are. Physical materials, including pamphlets, brochures, flyers, are soon enough lost or discarded. And even if exemplary managers or leaders try to tell their employees that it's all right for them to completely unplug at the end of the day, bad habits die hard. But by meeting employees where they are, i.e. on their devices, to distribute effective and relevant communications about the importance of turning off and taking care of their health, and provide actionable guidance on how to do so, employers just might empower their staff to change their habits. For example, wellness apps that seamlessly connect employees to a library of resources alongside their full suite of well-being services available through their employers have been proven to help individuals manage life stressors, reduce symptoms of stress, anxiety, burnout, fatigue, frustration, and the like, and develop positive coping skills or habits that enable them to live a more meaningful, fulfilling life. This is true for two reasons. The first being wellness apps' time-saving capabilities. One of the most debilitating consequences of work-life imbalance and overwork is a lack of time to do virtually anything else. They don't have time, or they don't have the energy to take advantage of what little time they have, to take care of household tasks, to cook dinner, to even take care of themselves and their day-to-day needs, let alone put in an extensive amount of research to find health and wellness services or resources to try. But an app takes care of that for them, leveraging user profiling and analytics to provide personalized content and referral recommendations at the tap of a button, and with all resources just a tap away. Which brings us to the second reason for these apps' effectiveness: personalization. Studies consistently show that personalized support for personalized health goals yields greater adherence to and attainment of these goals. Refer to any paper, blog, video, self-help book, you name it, and you'll find the top solutions to burnout, stress, and anxiety listed as exercise, self-care, and mindfulness. These are rather open-ended solutions, intentionally so, as what specific tactics might help one person improve their health won't necessarily help another. Thus, people need help when it comes to discerning which exercises, which self-care practices, and which mindfulness interventions are right for them. Facilitating wellness apps' quick results and streamlined service are machine learning algorithms that enable apps to generate service or resource recommendations tailored to an individual's demonstrated needs, preferences, and interests, regardless of whether they're explicitly stated. With these time-saving and customizable functionalities, employees can receive timely, relevant information on exactly how they can restore the balance between their work and personal responsibilities, how they can truly unplug and reconnect with their physical surroundings after a long workday, and how they can take care of their holistic health needs to prevent fatigue, despair, helplessness, and, of course, burnout. As recent findings shared by Forbes indicate, at least 1 in 6 U.S. employees has made a New Year's resolution focused specifically on preventing or managing burnout. Even if the year has gotten off to a rocky start for some, the good news is that we still have another 6 months to go. By investing in tools like digital wellness apps, employers can help their staff to work towards these goals, set a new and better precedent for when they're expected to work, and establish a healthier culture in which all are empowered and enabled to be their best selves both in and out of the workplace.